The unit was waiting for backup from headquarters. Outside, the ghosts could attack at any moment. Brian grabbed his imaging device and went upstairs to scan through the window. He discovered the factory was surrounded by a ring of pure iron shavings. Even the seemingly unstoppable ghosts were being kept outside. That's when Brian realized there had to be other people hiding in the factory. After a thorough search, they found a brother and sister. It turned out the iron barrier had been set up by their father before he was killed by the ghosts. Although Brian didn't uncover many clues, he did find a map on the father's body. The location marked on the map was a nuclear power plant, the first place where the deaths had begun. At that moment, the soldiers finally made contact with headquarters. HQ told them a helicopter would arrive the next morning to extract them, but the landing zone was 800 meters away. How to break through the ghosts' blockade became their biggest problem. As everyone argued over what to do, Brian suddenly noticed something. There were still plenty of iron shavings inside the factory. Since the iron could block the ghosts, they could turn it into weapons to safely reach the extraction point. They quickly crafted a large number of makeshift weapons, but before they could set out, the ghosts found a gap in the barrier. They moved to a nearby high-rise and began leaping through the air at incredible speed. Seeing this, everyone immediately ran for their lives. Fortunately, although the weapons couldn't harm the ghosts, they were enough to slow them down. They managed to reach the landing zone, but because of the early evacuation, the rescue helicopter hadn't arrived yet. Just as despair set in, two tanks slowly rolled into view. Their shells blasted the high-rise into rubble. Supporting soldiers opened fire to cover them, but the ghosts were completely unaffected. Instead, the reinforcements and tanks were wiped out instantly. At that critical moment, the helicopter finally arrived. Everyone sprinted toward it. That's when Brian noticed something. The airflow from the helicopter's rotors slowed the ghosts' movement. He immediately smashed all the iron-based weapons he was carrying. The rotor wash scattered the iron shavings into the air, blowing them outward in all directions. The ghosts trying to advance were disrupted by the flying particles. Thanks to this, they finally managed to board the helicopter and escape. But once airborne, they received devastating news over the radio. Headquarters had already fallen. Countless ghosts were roaming the city. From above, the entire city flickered with eerie blue light. There wasn't a single living person in sight. With no other option, the helicopter headed to a shelter. Soon after, a general arrived there as well. After HQ fell, he had ordered all units to scatter and retreat, taking whatever equipment they could carry. He personally led a platoon to cover the withdrawal. Out of 240 soldiers, only 19 survived. Even worse, the ghosts could discover the shelter at any time. They had completely lost communication with the outside world, and the helicopter didn't have enough fuel to leave the disaster zone. The survivors were now trapped with no way out. At that moment, Brian suddenly recalled something. The ghosts feared pure iron and couldn't pass through a ceramic bathtub. If the ghosts had weaknesses, that meant one thing. They were created by someone.